Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Garrett Horner. This is stage 4 of Volta, Catalunya. Today's stage, just under 170 kilometers. We'll call about 106 miles in total length distance, with only really one climb coming in the middle of the stage. Now, with that in mind, you got to believe that the sprinters know they have a shot at winning here on stage 4. That's why I told you yesterday in the preview here at stage 4 that I thought we'd see Ineos on the front because they have Ethan Hayter and Cofidis, Brian Coquard's team on the front. When the cameras come on, we got about 60 kilometers to go. We have 3 riders in the front. It's Barada there from Kern Pharma, and he's down on general classification. Thomas de Hint there from Lotto Destiny, he's down on general classification. And then we have Anderson from Uno X. Also, all of the 3 of these guys way down on GC. That's why we see the sprinter teams have to chase. And Tadej Pogacar is going to get a day off here for his UAE Team Emirates. With the 4 teams on the front chasing, it's Alpecin de Koenig, Cofidis is up there, Intermarché is up there, and EF Education. All with sprinters and all trying to win today's stage 4 of the Volta Catalunya. But these 4 teams have not messed around, and that's why the gap up to the 3 leaders right now is not very big at just over 2 minutes. So we see Thomas de Hint and we see Anderson attack, and Barada's going to get dropped right away when the cameras come on, only about 5 minutes afterwards. With Thomas de Hint trying to win another stage here at Volta Catalunya to go with his long list of victories throughout his career here. He's trying to get this stage 4 victory, but the peloton's not messing around. These 4 teams are riding professional together. They all know anyone has a shot at winning the stage 4 because there's no real pure sprinters here at Volta Catalunya. Even Ethan Hayter with his long list of victories, and this cat runs a lot of races, he's not really the purest of sprinters. So when you take out all the big hitters that we see at the Tour de France for sprinting, that means a lot of guys have a shot at winning this stage 4. And I'm impressed that all 4 teams at the front are working well together, with the exception Ineos aren't up there. Now, with those 4 teams, they're going to bring back the 2 leaders up front with about 29 kilometers to go, and a little bit of chaos section there because we got the sprint competition coming, and it's a time bonus. When we go back and we look at the general classification, we see Wout Poels and Sepp Kuss were tied on the time when today's stage started, and so whoever can win this sprint can move up on the GC. Not move up far, but they can move up 1 second and jump over Sepp, or Sepp can jump over Wout. We see Movistar leading into the sprint there. I think that's Enric Mas. He'll pull off hard to the right. And then we see Bahrain victorious Wout Poels win the sprint for 3 seconds, Sepp Kuss for 2, so they'll jump over each other on GC. And third is Antonio Tibieri there to get a 1 second time bonus. Now, the peloton goes curb to curb after this, and they want calm racing for the last 30K here of this stage, but they're going to see one attack there, and that's Euskaltel Ezquerres. That's Angel Mate. If I take you back to the beginning of the stage, he was signing some special autographs, so he's well liked here in Spain, clearly. As he's going solo up the road, he's not giving any time. When we look at the back of the peloton with 20 kilometers to go, the gap is still the same up there to the Euskaltel Ezquerres rider, and we see Thomas de Hint, who's been in the break all day, and he's back there smiling, chatting with Yates. So we know it's not stressful in the group, because every time the camera fans forward there to Angel Mate, the gap is still only about 10-15 seconds. He'll get wrapped up with about 9 kilometers to go. Then things start getting a little bit interesting. So if you don't have a whole lot of time, you want to watch from about 10 kilometers to go on today's stage. Nothing happened before that, trust me. Once we get under 9 kilometers to go, as I said, it's getting a little interesting, curb to curb. Teams are getting a little bit nervous. We see UAE Team Emirates up there. They're trying to protect, of course, Tadej Pogacar's GC so he doesn't get caught behind any crashes. And we see Ineos under 8 kilometers to go, and they got about 5 guys at the front. They're motivated now for Ethan Hayter to be able to win this stage 4. And everything's curb to curb with Ineos trying to get some control until about 5.5 kilometers to go. It's Cofidis taking over the front. As they come into this difficult big roundabout under the bridge, look at the motorcycle going to the right. That's why the front of the peloton's going to the right, but the fast way is to the left, and you see some riders figure it out. Whenever I was racing, you're always trying to look a little bit forward and try to find some kind of gain. So the guys going left there saw at the last minute that that's a shortcut. They went left. The long way around was the right way, following the motorcycle, which is correctly how you're supposed to do it. But the guys had some heads-up attention there that went left. They got a little bit of advantage. Come out, you see the cones all in the middle of the road as there's a little bit of chaos with the peloton. Once it comes back together, Cofidis is at the front, but not for very long, because it's time for the 2019 Tour de France champion Egan Bernal to take over the front. And who's on his wheel? That's the 2018 Tour de France champion Geraint Thomas sitting second. Third is Ethan Hayter, their sprinter. Now, we'll see Egan Bernal do a marvelous job from 4.5 kilometers all the way into 2.5 kilometers to go. And during that section, he's going through roundabouts after roundabouts after roundabouts. So Ethan Hayter's having an armchair ride right now on stage 4 of Volta Catalunya. All the way into about 2.5 kilometers to go. Egan Bernal goes hard to the left. Geraint Thomas goes hard to the left with him. Ethan Hayter stays to the right. He looks over at Geraint Thomas and Egan Bernal. He's like, boys, I want to be on the right side of the road. Come back to the right. Egan Bernal goes back hard right. He's already been on the front for almost 2 kilometers. He'll do another 300 meters to go, and then Egan Bernal will give the elbow to his teammate Geraint Thomas, 2018 Tour de France champion. Almost won the Giro d'Italia last year, finishing second to none other than Primož Roglič after that individual time trial on the penultimate stage. So, you know there's some power at the front if Geraint Thomas is trying to get his form back up for the Giro now and using this for some training. They're starting to get swarmed as Egan Bernal pulled off hard left and G. Thomas is on the front. That's DSM and FDJ coming up the left side of the road. Geraint Thomas is on the right. He'll move over to the left, and I thought he was starting to blow, but the British rider is not starting to blow. He knows he's got a right turn coming up. As he comes flying into the right turn, the Welshman's in the lead here. And second is Ethan Hayter with still an armchair ride on stage 4. Now, Geraint Thomas will fly through the roundabout there, going to the right, and once he comes out, he has a ton of right turns to start making. He'll go through one right turn, a second right turn, a third right turn. Now, we'll come under 1K. Geraint Thomas is still on the front. Get into about 850 meters to go, and Geraint Thomas makes the last right turn, and he's up on the bridge. When he's on the bridge, his legs are starting to fall off. He'll start moving all the way over to the right. And then on the left, they're getting swarmed by 2 Lotto Destiny riders with Dries Devenin sitting second wheel, their sprinter. They're coming up the left side really fast, and we'll see that Ethan Hayter will leave Geraint Thomas's wheel with about 750 meters to go. As they're coming off the bridge, he moves over left. We look behind the Lotto Destiny riders. Who's that? Well, Brian Cocard's in a good position, and so is Van den Broek. He's in a nice position. Intermarché, they have Marit there. He's in a good position, and DSM have a solid rider with Lupin there. Now, with the coming down off the bridge, you see the bump, and there'll be a little descent. Now, look back there in second place as Jared Drisner's starting to panic. He's looking left over his shoulder, looking back. Then he looks again back. Now he's really starting to panic, and we still got about 400 meters to go. He'll start his jump at about 380, 390 meters to go. I'm thinking, man, what are you doing? Did you not watch Paris-Nice where Mads Pedersen, one of the best sprinters in the world, was jumping at 290 and couldn't make it? He's jumping at 380, 390. He jumps hard off his teammate's wheel. Brian Cocard's in the picture. We see that Ethan Hayter's still in the picture, and Van den Broek from EF Education sitting solid on Cocard's wheel. Now, Dresner will go hard over to the left as he starts drifting. Not a fault of going to those, like, hooking guys to the left, because you look at the road, fastest line would be to start drifting to the left if you want the straight shot to the finish. So I'm all happy with this move. As he's drifting over to the left, going over to the fencing, we see behind Brian Cocard knows he's got to get ready to go because things are going to start swarming from the back because Drisner's been on the front for too long. 200 meters arrives quickly, and then Brian Cocard hits the afterburners, throws in his attack to the line at 200 meters to go, maybe 190, as he starts accelerating past by the Lotto Destiny rider who jumped way too early as Brian Cocard's coming by him. 150 meters to go. Things are getting interesting in the back, and we start seeing Ethan Hayter, who got stuck out in the wind way too much. Ineos did a great job. Egan Bernal was fantastic for him. G. Thomas was amazing, but Ethan Hayter wasn't able to get over onto the train proper and has been in the wind the whole time. So at 150, the Ineos rider's legs are starting to blow. He's going backwards. Brian Cocard's still trying to win the stage, but with 100 meters to go, we'll see the next attack. It's EF Education's Van den Broek there. He throws in his attack at 100 meters to go. 75, it looks like a bit of a drag race, but at 50 meters, Van den Broek's got the lead. And then we see Brian Cocard's getting swarmed from the back as we got Intermarché coming up the left side and DSM coming up the right. Now, 25 meters to go. Sure, EF Education looks like he's got the win, Van den Broek, but he's not 100% sure, so he throws his bike at the line to get first on the stage, followed quickly by Marit there from Intermarché, and then third on the stage, Lupin from DSM will round out the podium here at stage 4. Now, when I look at this tactics on today's stage, Ethan Hayter and Team Ineos, I like the way Egan Bernal did it. he did a beautiful job coming from 4.5 kilometers all the way into 2.2 kilometers to go, which is a massive pull from one rider. Of course, he did win the Tour de France in 2019, but he got him through Ethan Hayter, that is, through all the roundabouts safely at the front. When we see Geraint Thomas take over, Geraint Thomas was money from 2.2 all the way into about 750 meters to go when he did the right turn off the bridge. The problem I had wasn't with Egan Bernal or Geraint Thomas, it was with Ethan Hayter. I believe as the sprinter, when you're coming into that last 1K, and you know you only got Geraint Thomas on the front, if he doesn't have acceleration from 700 to 250 meters at least to go, maybe 200 would be better. And today's stage, it looked like you almost had to get your sprinter into 150 meters to go if you really wanted to win. So I think Ethan Hayter had to back off when he went into that last right turn over the bridge. Back off there or back off on one of the turns before that 850 meter bridge, and then let Geraint Thomas go away. Much like we saw on stage 1, where we saw Nick Schultz win stage 1 because his teammate Steven Williams backed off the throttle. Once he backed off the throttle, if that was Ethan Hayter under a K to go on one of those last 2 technical turns, he can back off the throttle. Geraint Thomas has to go. Now what happens, it'll slow the bunch back there a little bit, and then it will probably be Lotto that has to come around and do the big acceleration. If not, you'd have to look for some EF education rider back there, but honestly, they are spread out all over. So it might have been DSM that had to do the pull to bring Geraint Thomas back. That would have allowed Ethan Hayter a little bit more time to find some space. I told you already as I was calling the finish that Ethan Hayter was in the wind too long, and that was the problem I had. If he opened up the gap to Geraint Thomas, he'd have more time to slot into the wheel because the pace would slow a little bit. Someone would have to jump. Once they jump, you have the snap and all the spaces between the back wheel of one rider and the front wheel of the other. Once you get the space between the front wheel and the back wheel of the 2 riders, that means Ethan Hayter can slide in and get his bars in and then start to get a draft, recover a little bit from the effort. It is a big effort when you back the throttle off, but if you back it off at the right time going into the turns, everyone behind you has to back off. So once they do the acceleration, the gaps open up on the wheel. Ethan Hayter can find most likely an easier way to slide in onto the draft versus today's stage finish when he's trying to slide in at basically 500, 600, 700 meters to go. Still can't get in, and then he's blowing at 150 because he's been in the wind basically from 700 to 150 meters to go. He had an armchair ride throughout the whole finish with time that Egan Bernal got on at 4.5 all the way to that 700 meters to go. But after that, those are the crucial moments when you're a sprinter. Sprinter, everything comes down to you can make big mistakes at the beginning of the race. You can make big mistakes in the middle of the race. Once you get down to the finish, and certainly under 2K and 1K to go, you can't afford huge mistakes if you're a sprinter. And 750 meters to go out in the wind all the way to 150, you're not going to win the stage. So when I look at Ineos, Geraint Thomas, tip of the hat. Egan Bernal, tip of the hat. Ethan Hayter, tip of the hat for the effort you put in. But tactically, you got to back off sooner, let Geraint Thomas go, and find your way solidly onto a wheel there when you're coming into the crucial section, which is the last few hundred meters of today's stage 4. You didn't, you lost the stage, and then ended up sitting up with 150 meters to go. Either way, EF Education's Vandenbroek had a spectacular ride here, celebrated just after the line, but didn't celebrate before. He had tossed that bike all the way to the line because he didn't know what was happening. They were coming so fast from behind. But it was a great first victory here in the 2024 season for Vandenbroek, so congratulations to EF Education. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Tomorrow should be a relatively stage for the breakaway specialist. Just going to be hard to get in. They're going to have to go full gas through the first early parts until they hit the climb, which I imagine the break won't go until just before the climb. Either way, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next edition real soon.